We have party after party or event after event. And it doesn't even have to be a party. It could be a kid's school thing. I hear it all, you guys. And for so many of you, it's like I don't know what to do. I have no choice. The fuck you do, you have a choice. Before we get into today's episode, I want to make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you don't want to miss any content that's being dropped, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I also want to know who are the people you want to hear from on this show and what topics would you like me to continue to cover. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, the podcast where we debunk the eat less, move more, shrink more mentality and focus on what really matters, which includes your relationship with your body, food, self-worth, and the behaviors that align with all of those. I'm your host, Christina Hathaway, licensed therapist with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. At the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, we believe what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. So let's have a conversation about that. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. I am so excited that you took some time out for yourself to learn something about your physical and mental health. And today, I'm going to talk about why food control feels so goddamn hard during the holiday season. If you take every single podcast I do on mental health throughout the year, every single thing applies. Emotional management, boundaries, food noise, scarcity mindset, all or nothing mindset. Not only does it apply during the holiday season, it is amplified because we're in this kind of twilight zone of just repetitive outings, events, parties, and for some damn reason, we don't think we have a choice. And so we're going to set you up so that you do have a choice and you can go through the holidays setting intentions, following through on promises you make for yourself, and feeling like you have control of food. Now, for a lot of you, if you don't have those things already, it's going to feel hard. So I want you to grab a pen and paper. I want you to be taking notes. I want you to feel prepared. Just by being aware of the patterns we're talking about and having a game plan, you're going to get through less damaged, if you will, or you'll get through a bit more unscathed than you did last year. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect because nothing's perfect, but you will at least have a better experience. So I want to talk about myself because I don't love holiday food. I don't love holiday food. I could do without it. And I can walk through the holiday candy section and be like, ugh, like I just don't like any of it. You know, I just think about maybe a pumpkin spice something here and there, but like I can probably get that throughout the year. And for some of you, you're like, fuck you, Christina. Why are you telling us this? Well, the reason why is because not because I have some sort of superpower. It's because I've cleaned up a lot of the distortions I have around how much weight or influence I give to food. And I want to point that out. I don't give food any sort of importance in my life or weight or anything good or like nutrient dense or pleasurable foods. Nothing really says like I have to have that. I need that. I don't feel any pull. As I talked about with alcohol, I don't want it to control me, nor do I want food to control me, nor do I want exercise to control me. I control me, right? And I want you guys to hear that, because it is possible. And that doesn't mean you can't enjoy these things. It's just a matter of you being in the driver's seat of your life. But let's get into it. So I'm going to just remind you guys what food noise is. Now, food noise is the rumination or obsession around what you're eating, when you're eating, if what you're eating is good versus bad, if it's going to fit into your calories, when's the next time you're going to eat, thinking about that food, changing that food because you don't want that food, and just thinking about it all day long. Now, food noise is a byproduct of diet culture and heavy restrictive diets. The less you eat, the more your brain is going to say, hey, we need food. And it has this feedback loop that will start making you obsess over food. It will start to make you cut out recipes and be on Instagram liking all these food channels. Once you get in front of food, it will make you feel like you can't get full on that food. And it will cause you to just be thinking about and feeling about food all day long. If you're someone who already struggles with food noise, the holidays can feel like cruel and unusual punishment because you're still engaging in the behaviors that cause food noise. And then also, there is an abundance of food that is available to you. So, if you're someone, and this happens a lot, and so we're going to talk about food noise and all or nothing thinking in the same little combo here. So if you've spent the month, the months leading up, or the year being good, restricting your food, counting, controlling, your brain has learned that certain foods are off limits. And what I see a lot of women do is they use weight loss up to the holidays as a solution to their inability to control their food throughout the holidays. Let me say that again. They use weight loss leading up to the holidays as their solution to their inability to control their food intake during the holidays. That is not okay. That is incredibly, incredibly distorted. And it leads to you ultimately not having control because what do? Again, you restrict your food up to the holidays. You're in this calorie deficit. But in your mind, you're saying, I'm going to lose this weight and then I can do whatever I want during the holidays. The problem, though, is you're associating this calorie deficit not with I'm going to lose this weight and I'm going to get to maintenance and I'm going to do this the right way. Your goal in losing this weight is solely to gain it back. Now, you may not think that, but when you have this all or nothing, I'm going to be good up until the holidays. I'm going to be in a calorie deficit. I'm not going to eat carbs or sweets because I want to make sure that I have the ability to do that during the holidays. You have this unchecked power. You do not have any sort of bumper during the holidays, and you allow yourself to overdo it and overindulge, right? And like I just said, with traditional food noise, when we restrict, once we refeed or get that food in front of us, our brain doesn't let off our leptin, which is our fullness hormone, but not until we have like a very large amount of food. And so you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, like not only am I eating all of the food, but I don't feel like I'm getting full. So now I'm overdoing it, right? And again, it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with why we're here. And we do this throughout the year. You know, people will diet throughout the year, and then the holidays are seen as this like no-go zone. That's why so many people start over in January. The problem, though, is that pattern by itself will create behaviors, obviously, like the overindulging, physiological responses, like not being full, even though you've had a very large portion because the body has been like restricted for so long that it wants to make sure that it's almost like hibernating, storing all of that food just in case it doesn't get it later, right? You eventually are going to start feeling like shit. You're going to start feeling like you've gained weight. Your pants are going to feel tighter, or you might put on your holiday dress for the holiday party that you wear every single year and it doesn't fit because you just allowed yourself to overdo it. And then of course we course correct come January 1. But that all or nothing and that using weight loss prior to the holidays as a solution for your overindulgence in the holidays is, until you get that pattern under control, you're just going to spin your wheels every single year. You're going to be in the same place every single year. Now, it's one thing to be in this like 5 to 7 pound weight range as your maintenance throughout the year. That's not who I'm talking about. If you're not trying to lose weight, I'm not talking to you, right? Well, I mean, maybe yes, because if it's still distorted is distorted, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you fluctuate 5 to 7 pounds like I do throughout the year, I think that's relatively healthy. However, if you're the person who is truly trying to lose weight and keep it off, this pattern is really going to fuck with you in regards to that. The other mental health struggle I see during the holidays is a lack of boundaries. Now, we have to realize beyond food, there's a lot of family during the holidays, and I'm going to have a whole episode on this. However, during the holidays, boundaries can be incredibly blurry, right? You are around people who will make comments about your plate. I know with my mom, for my husband, she will not do this to me because I shut it down every time. She tells him he didn't eat enough when he is a grown ass man and he can decide what he puts on his plate. But you'll have comments around your plate, comments around your body, comments around your choices throughout the whole year. It's like you have a microscope on you about every single decision that you've made. And on top of that, we're eating, right? And if we have families who are food pushers, we're going to feel guilty if we say no. If we don't have internal boundaries to say, me saying no is for me. If that person feels guilty, or not, I'm sorry, if that person feels disappointed about me because I'm not eating their food, that's on them. But a lot of us don't have those boundaries because a lot of these people, the grandmothers, the moms, the dads, they're people who are a part of our own insecurities, right? And our own distorted thinking about ourselves, meaning they're the reason we think the way that we do. And so you become that little kid in the house, right, at the dinner who can't say no because they're afraid of losing praise or love or safety, whatever that is, which we don't isn't true logically, but we just go back, we resort back to that. And we feel guilty for saying no. We feel guilty for skipping the family pie. We feel guilty for a lot of things, even drinking, not drinking. Oh, my family's just, we're a boozy bunch. Like we all get together and we drink and it's a lot. And then we order this and we do that. If you have goals, even if your goal is just to feel in control, you've got to get out of that I have to mindset and decide what you want to do. Be intentional with your decisions and learn it's okay to say no, or it's okay for everyone else to be drunk around you and you not be. It is okay to pass on the dessert. It's okay to ask people to change the conversation, right? The problem though is we walk into these situations boundaryless, and not just with family, but at the work parties, at the friend parties. Everyone around us is boundaryless. They're all talking about how bad they're being, right? And how drunk they're going to get. And maybe they're doing it right in front of you, or, they're talking and they're eating mindlessly. So then if you're not aware, you're going to naturally do it too. And being able to know what your boundaries are and set them, and then set what you will do in an effort to have and uphold them, you are going to have a much, much easier time. Now, we've talked about the all or nothing in regards to the year or the months leading up to the holidays, but there's even that all or nothing mindset within the holiday season. Because say that your work has a happy hour on Friday, right? And you're like, okay, this year I'm going to have control over my food. I'm going to, just eat like I do the rest of the year. That's all I want to do. However, maybe you've not dealt with your all or nothing mindset and you go to that happy hour and you have a few too many drinks and you eat a ton. Maybe you even act like a fool, right? And you think, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't have acted that way. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I ate all that food. I've already fucked up. So I'm going to start over again on Monday. The problem, however, with the holidays is usually there's a party on Saturday too, right? And then maybe the next Thursday at work, and then a party on the next Friday or Saturday. So while we're doing that same thing of starting over again on Monday, we've now double dipped, right? Because we have party after party or event after event. And it doesn't even have to be a party. It could be a kid's school thing. I mean, I hear it all, you guys. And for so many of you, it's like, I don't know what to do. I have no choice. The fuck you do. You have a choice, right? You can say, all right, last night I overdid it. And that's not who I want to be. during this time. I've set this promise to myself. So let me look back and see where things went wrong. All right. I had 3 drinks and that my boundaries kind of went out the window with food. So tonight I'm gonna have 1 drink and then I'm gonna do some mocktails. And I'm going to eat beforehand and choose 1 or 2 love foods to eat, right? And we go to the party and we engage with people, we act normal, we remember things, and we move on, right? But there is that, you think of all or nothing thinking when it comes to the holidays. We can look at it from a year, we can look at from the quarter, we can look at from the month, we can look at from the week, right? The year of I do really good all year until the holiday comes and the wheels fall off. I do great during the quarter where I'm going to lose the weight up to the holidays and then I just let myself go, right? I do great that month of and then I let myself go. Or I do the great the week of and I let myself go, right? You hear what I'm saying? So we need to be able to have those stops, which again, I'm going to come back to. You're a woman who makes it all happen. The deadlines, the deals, the demands. You're disciplined, capable, and results driven. But lately, it's taking a lot more effort to feel like yourself. You're still achieving. You're not thriving. And deep down, success shouldn't cost your energy, your focus, or your peace. You don't need another plan. You need a strategy that matches your ambition. You've built a life around achievement, but no one ever taught you how to sustain it. Most high-performing women are operating with fractured systems. Great work ethic, but poor recovery. A strong body, but an overwhelmed mind. A plan for success, but not for longevity. You don't need more hustle. You need alignment. Your nervous system, nutrition, and training working with you, not against you. Hi, I'm Christina Hathaway, founder and CEO of The Mindset of Matter, a company built to help ambitious women master high performance from the inside out. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who spent over 15 years helping women reprogram their relationship with achievement, food, and their body that they lead from. I integrate clinical psychology, behavioral science, and performance physiology to create what most programs miss, a complete strategy for mental clarity, physical resilience, and sustainable success. This isn't just life coaching. This is human performance training for elite women, where therapy meets science and strategy meets embodiment. This Black Friday, I'm opening a limited time opportunity to work with me directly, offering $775 off our 6 months one-to-one mentorship. This is a personalized, high-touch transformation program where therapy meets training and nutrition. We'll rebuild your energy, your metabolism, and your mindset so you can lead with clarity, confidence, and strength at last. Or also $775 off our 6-month group mentorship with Coach Liv, with my direct oversight and involvement in monthly calls. Same science-backed framework delivered in a community for women who want accountability, precision, and power alongside other overachievers. There are no strict meal plans. There's no hustle culture. There is no one-size-fits-all routines. You'll get an evidence-based system that blends therapeutic insight to regulate your nervous system and rewire your relationship with yourself, nutrition strategy to fuel your focus, stabilize your energy, and restore metabolic health, performance training that builds strength, stamina, and resilience without sacrificing your recovery. Because structure isn't the enemy, misalignment is. When your body and mind are optimized, you don't just get results, you keep them. This is the blueprint for you to become unstoppable. This Black Friday offer is open for a limited time only. When it closes, it closes. No extensions, no exceptions. If you're ready to stop settling for functioning and start operating at your full potential, this is your power move. Because wellness isn't self-care, it's a performance strategy. And the women who understand that, they don't just succeed, they lead this standard. The Mindset of Matter, where therapy meets physiology, where high-achieving women come to lead stronger, think clearer, and live with unmatched power. Then, of course, we have emotional management. So boundaries are a big part of that. But holidays can be a big cry fest. I think of myself. I'm thinking of me. This is the first Christmas without my dad. My dad does the prayer at every meal for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And just think of that. Like, if I wasn't aware of that and the fact that he's not going to be sitting at the head of the table this year, and I just walk into that day in La La Land, then I'm going to eat. If I don't have any sort of awareness as well as a game plan, I might eat the shit out of that food, or some people don't eat at all, right? Which is not healthy either. Or I'm not going to enjoy the moment with my family of this new normal and trying to create this newness because I'm just unaware. And it's not just grief, which I'm going through. Like, what are we going through? Do you have deadlines going on? It is Q4. Do we have quotas we need to meet? Are we trying to get all of this work done before we take the 2 weeks off? I know for my clients listening, we take 2 weeks off. We have group coaching calls that Coach Liv and I will participate in. And they're roughly once a day for 4 days. It's like usually Monday through Thursday, depending on attendance, but making sure that our clients have a game plan. And there's a lot going on. And if you're just blowing air in your balloon, your little holiday sparkly balloon, and not letting any of it out, you're going to have an even harder time with food because your body is going to be looking for regulation and relief because it's not getting the release of that emotion. And again, being able to figure out what does that look like during this time where I am expected to be everywhere all at once, plus finish my work, plus wrap the presents, plus do all the things. Again, I'm going to have a complete episode on this, so I'm not going to get quite into the depths of it. But I want to talk about some things that we can do that you guys already know. This episode, these coming up episodes are just reminders. They're reminders of everything I've taught you throughout this year, but they're necessary. So the first thing that I want you guys to be thinking about is you can have this food whenever you want. Say that you like have a family meal that is maybe specific to your culture and it's only eaten on this holiday, right? Now, I may be wrong. I have been wrong many times, but I'm still sure you can have it outside of the holiday if you want it. You can enjoy it. Maybe even freeze the one from the holiday. So still say it's still from the holiday, right? Or when you're at Trader Joe's and you see all those fun candies in their little cute holiday tins, just remember like and I this okay, here's a part of me. There's those salted caramel chocolates from Trader Joe's and they literally put them in like a holiday tin. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Then come to find they have that shit a year round. It's just in a different box. It's in a different box. And I can enjoy it then. They're delicious, right? You know, you want a peppermint McFlurry? You can make that at home. You want a candy cane? I'm sure you can buy them year round. Just reminding yourself, like, I can make or have this food some other time, right? Even if you're going out of town with family, that, you know, obviously, like I think of my client, he is from Kansas City, and we talk about it all the time because he goes there like 3 or 4 times a year. I'm like, you know what the food tastes like. You know you're going to be there again. We don't have to have it every time we're there, right? And or we can order it. He lives in New York City, like probably ship it to New York City or find the equivalent. I was just in New York this weekend and there's barbecue there, right? I don't know how good it was, but you know what I'm saying. So really getting in front of that scarcity mindset. The other thing is like noticing the urgency around certain foods during the holidays. Like, I need this now. Like, I'm not going to have this again. I need to, you know, stock up on it. I have a lot of clients who stock up on like Trader Joe's candies, thinking like, well, they're just not going to be there again. It's like, yes, they'll be there next Christmas at a minimum, right? And maybe next Christmas we're not in a deficit, or maybe next Christmas we have really become attuned with our eating that we will get them then, right? Because this Christmas we don't have that foundation underneath us. And that's not to say you can't have them. It's just don't create them. Don't put them on this pedestal. That's probably the best thing. don't put these foods on a pedestal. They're food. It's food, right? And so making sure that you're noticing the urgency, giving yourself a pause, right? Understanding or setting intention with, I love giving yourself a time frame with that food. Like, I'm buying one of these tins and I want this to last me for the week. There's four caramels in the tin. I want this to last me for the week. So I could cut them up and have a half of one each day, right? Or one every other day in its whole form. And then also when we're sitting and having the food that maybe is not available all the time or would require us to order or make it, we set a time frame with how long we want to experience that food. I just had a client text me that she had ordered a little kid's cup of ice cream while waiting for takeout. Now, is that the order I love for food? No, but that's there's no laws, right? You're a grown adult. If you want to have ice cream before your dinner, fine. She said, I literally just took the smallest bite. She goes, it lasted so freaking long. I'm like, yes, allow that food to last longer. Okay. So again, watch the thinking, watch the urgency, watch the hoarding around these foods, right? And one thing I didn't talk about, watch the grace giving. I know. Watch the grace giving. I just really just wanted to be with my family, or I just wanted to give myself grace. It's like, after a certain point of giving yourself grace, it's not grace anymore. It's your norm. So stop bullshitting yourself. If grace is your norm, that is your norm. You're just always doing the thing and calling it grace or calling it being in the moment or calling it, my kid was off school. So, well, your kid's off school like 50 times a year. So maybe not like, you know what I'm saying? Set some boundaries with yourself. Okay. Speaking of boundaries, we need to be thinking about what walking into every situation. Now, this is where it can get really tiring because the holidays, there's so many different scenarios, right? You have Thanksgiving, you have Friendsgiving, right? You have maybe you go out with your friends on Black Friday and go shopping and then have my girlfriend Crystal and I used to go. This is really bad. We were so young. We'd go shopping. We were bartenders and we'd have like a drink and then we'd go to a couple stores. And then we go back to the bar, have a drink, go to a couple of stores. By the end of it, I'm like, we shouldn't even have been driving home, but it was also like 2006. So not that that's an excuse, but it was really fun. But if you do your Black Friday shopping with your girlfriends, and then now we're into December and we have holiday work parties, we have family parties, we have all the things. You're gonna have to think about every single scenario. Even again, don't forget your kids' shit. Kids' holiday parties are usually full of the fun foods. Because why? Because they're kids. You think that, every parent's bringing a veggie plate? No. What is my intention? What are my boundaries? What am I not going to have? What am I not going to put up with? What am I not going to internalize? That's a great one. And then what am I going to do? What is my intention? What foods will I absolutely enjoy? Or maybe you don't know that up front. I'm going to find two of my love foods, right? And enjoy those. I'm going to have one cocktail and one mocktail, and we're calling it a day. I highly suggest y'all get some of this 1906 THC drops. These guys should sponsor me. Now, if you're driving your kids, don't do that. If it's not legal in your state, also don't do that. Little You're gonna feel great. Or just like some CBD. You don't even need to do THC. Feeling great. We get through the day. Doesn't cause munchies because they're like microdosed. Anyway, what is my intention? What will I do and what will I not do? And then also, what do when I'm talking about intention, like how do I want to walk out of this situation? And again, we need to do that for every scenario because every situation is going to have a different intention. We're going to, maybe with our friends, we let loose a little bit. And it's because we do that once a year. Okay. I'm saying that if it's once a year, but also we're going to set the intention that the next day I'm going to get up and go do a nice long walk, right? What I mean by that is maybe when you're with your family, we're not drinking because you know it's going to be a shit show. You might do that once a year with your family, but you know it always ends up in a fight. You want to be able to drive home. You want to be able to, eat the meal and get out of there. So maybe with family, even though every year everyone just gets a little boozy, you don't. Maybe you save that with your friends because maybe it's safer there. And then you also have a plan of attack for that. So every situation, different intentions, different boundaries, external boundaries that I need, internal boundaries that I need, and ensure that you are following through. Again, it's going to sound repetitive. I'm going to do another episode on this because I think it's so important. Then also remembering the goal is not perfection, right? The goal is permission. Permission that you have both nourishing foods and pleasurable foods. You will have a bit of structure, but also a bit of softness when it comes to the holidays, meaning that we're not using the weeks or months leading up to the holidays to put ourselves in a weight deficit just to gain it back. Here's the thing. If you're in a calorie deficit now and you're in a calorie deficit and you want to keep that weight off throughout the holidays, that's different. But if we're intentionally using a calorie deficit to create a buffer for our lack of control, that is not okay. We're not doing that, right? But also, we are going to, instead of all or nothing with the foods, we're going to say, okay, I had too many drinks and then had way too much of the cake. I don't know. Today is a new day. Like I already said, I have a party tonight. I'm going to have my high protein, high fiber meals throughout the day. When I get there, I'm going to have one drink, one mocktail. You guys already heard my situation for this. But that same situation has a different lesson. It is I can have indulgent foods. I do not have to feel bad about it. I can learn if there was a place to be better, right? A place of improvement, but it's not an excuse for me to just while out all weekend. Okay. So really leaning into the all or something, right? We're going to live in that gray area rather than that black and white thinking. On top of that, we want to be careful on, of course, restricting throughout the week. So allowing yourself maybe some of those foods that we love throughout the week, not just certain days, right? Because it gives this idea that these are the days that I indulge and these are the days when I'm good. That's silly because you're going to want to rebel at a certain point. And also, if you say these are the days I'm good and you eat one of those foods, then it's going to elicit I'm bad, which is going to elicit rebellion, which is going to cause you to eat or act in a way you don't want to. Then also, of course, we need to just check in with ourselves. We need to check in with how we're feeling. We need to be real with how much fucking shit you guys take on during the holidays. It's a lot. And I have a whole presentation on this. I should just do a live on this because I have statistics of how much is put on women during this time. So checking in with yourself, allowing yourself to let that air out of the balloon, allowing yourself to delegate, allowing yourself to have mediocre freaking decorations, a mediocre tree. Nobody cares. You care. You don't need 3 trees. You probably don't even need one. But you have kids, do the tree. Let the kids decorate the tree. Why are you doing all the decorations? Let the kids decorate the house. It might look like shit, but they're going to love it. The whole reason you're doing it is because kids want it, right? And, if you're having a Christmas party, I get it. But, let the air out of the balloon, right? Let the air out of the balloon. Delegate. Focus on what's important and urgent first. Plan what is important but not urgent. What is urgent and not important, delegate to other people. And if it is not urgent, nor it's not important, take it off your list. Again, I'm going to be talking about this in a later episode. So, why does food feel so out of control during the holidays? Well, my dears, you've got just a right left hook combination coming at your face with all or nothing. Boom. Scarcity mindset. Boom. Emotional regulation. Boom. Food noise. Boom. What are the other things I said? Lack of boundaries. Boom. I get it. It's a lot. However, taking a step back, looking at what you got going on, deciding what you will and will not go to, probably the first place to start. Then, like I said, each experience, each event, setting that intention, what I will and will not do, what do I need inside myself, and making sure leading up to these events, we're living with balance. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. This is not the way I was going with this episode, but I think that it went well. If you are in a friend group and you guys have talked about, we're okay, we got to hold each other accountable. We really want to get through this holiday season relatively unscathed, both physically and mentally. Share this podcast. It's one of my favorite things that you guys tell me that you do. Like, oh, I shared this with my girlfriends. It makes me so incredibly happy. Plus, you're giving them something. That's one of the best Christmas gifts you can give them is a little peace of mind. So I'd love for you to share this with them. And if you are someone who's listening to this because your friend has shared this with them, please make sure that you just hit that follow button, this little plus button, or subscribe on YouTube. That helps me in the algorithm, get to more people, but also more importantly, it helps me get better guests on. A lot of the big names want to see that there is more downloads of the podcast. So downloading the podcast too can be incredibly helpful because they want to see that obviously they're not, wasting their time, if you will. Do I love that? No, but that's the name of the game. So that is one of the easiest ways to do this. This podcast is completely free for you. So I hope that you guys are doing that because that helps me. Lastly, if you want to be ahead of your friends and family, this is the time to start coaching. It's not January. If you can get through the holidays, you can get through anything, right? What myself and my team are going to help you do is create a foundation, exactly what we're talking about here, physically and mentally. So with your exercise, with your nutrition, with your mindset, so that not only you're going to get through the holidays, you may even lose some weight during the holidays or maintain it at a minimum. But more importantly, you're going to let go of the weight of everything we're talking about here. So if you are interested, we have group coaching, which Coach Olivia is going to be in charge of our group coaching moving forward. I will be a part of the group coaching calls, but I will not be coaching the clients there, or one-to-one coaching with which both Coach Olivia and I will be participating in. So if you're interested, check out the show notes below. Honestly, I think it's the best time you could start doing this shit. So other than that, I'm going to leave you reminding you of a very, very important thing. And that is what you say in your mind. You see in the mirror. Bye-bye.